Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Hey Sister. Hey Sister, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, sister.
As you all can see, we are in the same location. Guess who came to visit me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna stop acting silly, but I'm excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. I flew out, y'all. Have y'all anybody listen? These people act like they ain't got COVID out here.
It's over. COVID is over.
That's why I had on my 2 masks. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
Absolutely. You have to.
Yes.
Because it is very interesting that everybody is always like, let's get back to normal. And I keep saying, I don't know that getting back to normal is a good thing. I don't know that we were that healthy before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last few the last year, we've had a lot of things to happen that really didn't feel like it was very healthy. So anyway, hopefully we will stop saying get back to normal and we'll get to some better.
Well, that's one thing you said a few weeks ago when we had one of our programs, and I actually used it in one of my talks recently, I think on a podcast, Move Forward to Better. I actually wrote about it in my blog too. Okay. Forward to better. Yeah. Like, there is no going backwards. In no part of life do you ever go backwards.
Right.
Everything is always forward.
Right.
Now, you either go forward to better and that's a choice. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what are you choosing? What do people want to choose? But I see we got a couple people watching. Let's see.
Yes. Hey, Cam.
Hey, Cam. Hey, Cam. And hey, Nashana.
Hey, Shine.
Thank you for tuning in. And what we need y'all to do is go ahead and share, like, follow, subscribe. Let the folks know that you're tuning in to Hey Sister and that we are live and that we are in the same location. I flew out and I made it safely. Thank God for that.
Amen.
And we also want you to join the conversation in the comments tonight, because tonight is the night of
Hot Topics.
It's the first of the month, and all we're going to talk about are our hot topics for this evening. We're probably going to laugh because let me tell you something. People out here in these streets with straight tomfoolery. So please join the conversation in the comments. Yes. And who else is out there watching? If you're out there watching, drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Yes. So,
okay. Well,
what you want to talk about first, sister?
Well, might as well go with Matty Matt.
Oh, well, we're going with Matty Matt. We talked about tomfoolery a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Congressman
from the state of Florida. Matty Matt Gates. Sounds like things just keep dissolving or devolving into worse situations for Matty Matt. So, sounds like the website, I was about to say Plenty of Fish, but that is not correct. It's Seeking Arrangement.
Yes.
First of all, that's when you know, because everyday people don't even be on Seeking Arrangement.
Well, they have Seeking Arrangement.
I know sugardaddy.com, not that I've used it. I'm just saying I know that.
Well, they got Seeking Arrangements. You got sugardaddy.com. You have the fans only one now, even because fans only, a lot of fitness people were on that first, but now they went to a whole
I hear that
genre.
It's some like celebrities sometimes, and they doing extra stuff.
Well, there was a mom who took some photos and she put them up on there, and she was making that money to pay that private school tuition, but then the private school got wind just because so happened one of the parents happened upon it.
Yeah.
But it really was the husband of one of the mothers who happened upon her pictures, But anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
Hey, Nana, how you doing? So we digress on that. But again, there's a lot of tomfoolery out here on these websites and these internet streets. And anytime you paying for anything, I guess it is a good in the service. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that anybody put together a business plan or anything. So,
but you know, Matty Matt is, as you know, Congressman Matt Gaetz. He is in trouble, or he is a part of an investigation, and also it stemmed from another Florida political figure, I should say, who was the Seminole County tax collector, Joe Greenberg. Again, Greenberg got access, and because his father has a dental empire, and then Matty Matt, his father was also a long-time politician in Florida, and I can't remember what his business was too, but he was a businessman, went into politics. Anyway, this is typical to me. This is typical people who were born of a certain privilege, who probably have no game, so they pay for it.
I mean, well, Soldier Slim did have a song called "I'll Pay for It If I Want It." So I mean, I can't be mad at it.
I mean, hey.
But I think the thing
but the problem here is these girls are underage.
Right. That's where I was. There we go. We cannot pay individuals who are underage and cannot consent to these things. And as a lawmaker, I kind of expect you to understand the age of consent laws in your state, and you should probably not be crossing state lines with anyone, because that also is a crime. If they are underage. So at the end of the day, Matty Matt is Matty Madden. And, you know, it seems like I thought I saw something the other day where the mistress said that she basically confirmed that he was having these salacious relationships with underage girls. So we'll see what happens with Matty Matt.
And in a similar story, and we didn't put it here in the hot topics, but of what's his name? One of the Duggars. You remember the Duggars? 19 and counting. Is it Josh or Jake or whatever his name is? One of the He is once again, and this is the second time. This is not the first time. Where with child pornography, where he has been accused, and so he's been arrested, even though his wife is pregnant with their 7th child. Has been arrested.
How old is he? Because he ain't probably but 27 years old.
I don't know. You would have to look it up. You got to look it up. So, but it is a similar type of situation, a similar type of story where you know, there is this pedophilia is really, really disturbing. Oh, his name is Josh. Yeah.
Okay, so he's 33, so he's older than I thought.
But man, this abuse of children, this abuse of women, and we've talked about those who are least protected.
Yes.
And it's always women and children. And you know, thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Denise. Yes. For getting us together.
It's so very disturbing that these people who they count themselves as Christian, they count themselves as people of faith and believers. But when Jesus talked about taking care of the least of these, this is also who he was talking about. He was talking about those who can't protect themselves.
Right.
And so in the case of a Matty Matt or a Joel Greenberg or a Josh Duggar, the level of arrogance, the level of hubris, the level of vileness, you know, it's just such a level of vileness. Now, again, I understand it's obviously in their nature, because we can talk about that from, if you go watch Exterminate All the Brutes, you know, they want to talk about things being generational. It's obviously in their nature. Hey, Shireen. But let me tell you, this is it's disgusting and it's disturbing, and it really has to stop. I mean, we really have to protect children.
We do. We have to protect children. We have to protect women. And we also have to stop allowing people to hide behind Christianity. Because one of the things that we have talked about a lot in our Sunday school classes recently is there are no little sins and big sins. It's all sinful. If you're a Christian, it's all sinful in the eyes of God. So, the same people who can molest children or have sex with underage girls can't be the ones trying to denigrate the LGBTQ community. They can't be the ones trying to
pass all these transphobic laws.
Right.
It just messes with voting rights. Mm-hmm. Like all of you on these moral high grounds, when you are completely amoral.
Right.
I'm over it. Personally, I am over it. So people of the Matty Matt ilk, who have the audacity to be so bold and so brazen.
Yes.
I'm over it.
Speaking of, and this is a bit of a segue, but speaking of like transphobic legislation, there was this West Virginia news anchor who just kind of got in on the West Virginia governor because he just recently signed some legislation to ban trans women, I believe, from playing athletics sports, girls from playing sports. And the anchor was kind of like, how many times has this happened? Like, can you really tell me? And I don't think he understood where she was coming from. But her point was, she listed out, she ran them down, the numbers in U.S. News and World Report, where West Virginia ranks in education and healthcare, in I forgot the other two, I think income, whatever, but it was 4 categories. And in those 4 categories, she was basically like, so you have evidence of issues in these 4 categories, but you're not signing legislation on those 4 topics, but you're signing legislation to prevent trans girls from playing sports. And that ain't even an issue yet. It ain't even an issue for you yet. So,
and even if it is an issue for you, how about you make sure that they get a good education first?
Right.
How about that? Right. Like you worried about the sport, but can they be educated first? Right. I am so over this. We have really, like, not just dumbed down, but people have really, really they wedded to their ignorance. Like they just want to stay dumb as a box of rocks. And I am so over that.
Well, we will talk more about that when we recap your spring into leadership.
Oh, yeah. Look, we said, Shireen says, stop. Right. You can't name the name of Jesus and don't have love in words and deeds. Absolutely. Nashana says, stockpiled on audacity, expecting freedom from accountability. Absolutely. Right. And we got Jody tuning in too. Hey, Jody, what's up?
Hey, Jody. Hey, Lena. Hey, Rosalind.
Hey, Rosie. How you doing? So, yeah, it's really...
We'll save it, sister, because
we got more ridiculous. So we talked about Matty Matt. Now we got to talk about Rudy Rude.
So
it wasn't enough that they caught your behind. I was about to say ass, but caught your ass laying on the bed, and now adjusting your microphone, and they've been nominated for an Oscar of that movie because they, caught you. You still, got to be out there, Rudy Rude. You still want to keep out there running your mouth. And if y'all don't know what Rudy Rude we're talking about the one and only former mayor of New York City. And I guess that's his only claim to fame. But, yes, he's a former prosecutor. He's a former prosecutor for the Southern District of New York. He also, was America's mayor on 9/11. And now the FBI, the same people who you used to work with, they come and raid your offices. How about that?
Yeah, we can't even sing you about to lose your job because
you ain't got no job. Ooh, you already ain't got no job. I mean, I guess he's still 45's personal attorney.
Okay.
How that working out for
We'll see how that works after the FBI's findings come out. But It sounds like some friends and stuff are on pins and needles, except for Michael Cohen. He's really excited.
Michael Cohen said he had peace because he said, I already did my bid. I wrote my book. I did my bid. I came out here and y'all was trying to put me back in, but I done did my bid. I done cleansed my soul. I'm free.
Yeah, and Michael was on the CNN like, I told Rudy. I told him. You know, so.
And Michael Cohen said, but see, yeah, I was his attorney too, but I had sense enough to record my conversations because I knew who I was dealing with.
Yes.
So I knew I was going to have me a little piece of leverage that I could use to reduce my sentence, but you ain't all in.
Exactly.
And you ain't that good of an attorney because you ain't really practiced that long.
Right. So anyway, again, you're tuned in to Hey Sister. Hello, everyone. As you can see, we're together. Hello. Yay! And as always, we want you to get into the conversation. Drop into those comments because we want to hear from you. Are there some hot topics? Because we have a few more, but we want to hear from you. So what are the hot topics that you all want to talk about? Join the conversation in the comments. And remember, like, follow, share, subscribe.
Yes, for sure. Please, let's see. We got a comment that just came in.
Hey,
what's up, Denise? How you doing, girl? So yeah, we were talking about Rudy Rude, and a lot of this is really people behaving poorly who are in political office. A lot of it tonight is about people who are in political office, and I really want us to think about. So here's the other rub: how they keep getting elected.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to stop electing some of these folks.
I mean, I don't even know how much McConnell ass is still in office. And listen, no shade. I love Auntie Maxine, but she 82.
You better watch out because your daddy said Nancy Pelosi is 84 and Joe Biden.
I don't know if she's 84, but Nancy is I think 81 or 82.
I don't know, but I'm just
anyway, and Madam not secretary. Yeah, she just not Madam Speaker
of the House.
Madam Speaker, I love you too, sis. But I hope y'all have groomed your successors because y'all don't make room for your successors. Actually, what happens is you stay so long, your successor does not have an easy ascension, and then they get taken over by like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or somebody like that. Stop it. Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, they get elected by idiots. Perhaps I'm not gonna call people idiots, but I do think there's a level of willful ignorance and a level of lack of education.
Yeah. I think that's the thing.
Familiarity was easy.
That's the name they recognize.
Mitch is a Mitch. Child. On a light note, what did you think about the Michael B. Jordan movie? Well, Lena, you can chime in the comments here because I watched it because you posted about it. So I watched it. So we're talking about the movie Without Remorse. It's Amazon Prime, Michael B. Jordan. And it's a Tom Clancy, based on a Tom Clancy book. All I'm going to say is this about Michael B. Jordan. So Lena loved it. Every time I see Michael B. Jordan, all I can do is remember Little Wallace on The Wire. Because Little Wallace was trying to get out the game. Little Wallace should have never been in the game. Because he was a sweet little boy.
He was.
And they killed Little Wallace. They killed him.
Spoiler alert if you didn't see
if you never watched The Wire. Yes, it was amazing. It was good. Yes. See, Lena's laughing at me. Yes, Without Remorse was excellent. It was well acted. He definitely. So this is the other thing. It's a shame that people be coveting after that little boy because he ain't but in his 30s.
That's okay. He's illegal.
At least he ain't. He
is not underage.
He is of age.
Right.
He's so cute, y'all. He look and honey. Let me tell y'all. Okay, Niecy loved it too. I'm still mad. He tried to kill T'Challa. Yes. Rest in heaven. But let me say, boy, that boy body though. Woo woo. That boy got that body. I wasn't gonna say all that. I'm gonna say he got that body right and tight. He's keeping them what's these muscles is up here? Because you know these are the pecs. This is the traps up there. He keeping them traps tight, so he got that shoulder. He got that good frame. He got that V form. You know, he put up the arm, the waist go in, boom, boom, and he was doing the thing, and we got to see all the muscles do their thing. And also, who was in the movie, and he was a lesser figure, but it was good to see him in here. Also, is what's my boy who plays on Claws, who plays Niecy Nash's love interest on Claws. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he's in there too. And I was like, oh, look, the little white guy. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he got a job. Love.
So you have to read that in a special way.
Yes, I wanted more in the storyline, especially with the wife. Well, I don't think they had time to develop that because then it would have been a much longer movie. It would have been nice to know more, but so yeah, that time sequence was truncated because it showed him in that scene, then he was home, and then they were at, so it's
I didn't see it. I will tell you, yesterday I did see Two Distant Strangers as well as Time. So that's what I watched yesterday.
I'm not ready for Two Distant Strangers because it's too much of what's happening right now. So
it is all of it what's happening right now.
Wait, who me?
Who are me?
Who are me? Not to revel at God's creation.
That's from that little boy.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Didn't even say memento. Don't even say memento. Okay. Oh boy, guy gets on my nerves. He always look confused.
Well, did anyone see Two Distant Strangers? Because my sister did not.
I did not watch Two Distant Strangers. I watched the trailer for Two Distant Strangers, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to wake up and do this trauma all day, every day.
Well, that was the whole point.
I know that was the point, but
that was the whole point. Like, if you saw the trailer, you pretty much saw it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's only like 34 minutes.
Yeah, it's a short film.
So if you saw the trailer, you pretty much saw it.
I got the gist.
You got the gist. Of course, the bottom line is that's exactly it. We are all waking up from this dream repeatedly. And we keep seeing this stuff play out over and over again and re-traumatizing ourselves. Because, of course, he gets to the point where it's like, man, and like he's angry about continuing to wake up from this nightmare over and over again that he keeps having. But that's us. That is all of us waking up repeatedly from that nightmare. And then, I hope I'm not giving it all away, but I am. Basically, it's let's try all these different ways to see if I can save my life. And the bottom line, as we all know, is it doesn't matter. You can comply, you can talk, you can fight back, you can, whatever you do, the outcome is still going to be the same. So it was a really, I enjoyed it, but it is triggering, especially at the end when you see all these names that we didn't even, never even made it to the national news. Yeah,
right. Because and that's the other thing. We know stories that are local stories too, right? So we'll know about things from our region or our area. Many people did not know the name of Oscar Grant until it became to the movie Fruitville Station. So it is
also Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, also Michael B. Jordan. He did a wonderful job.
He
just came all back full circle. That's what it was meant to be. Full circle moment. So that movie is called Two Distant Strangers.
Just won the Oscar on Netflix.
It won an Oscar for short film, and it's on Netflix.
Yes. And got Van Lathan an Oscar.
Well, listen.
And Puffy.
So then, since we're talking about being traumatized, we might as well move on to Timmy Tim. Now, Timmy Tim is the name that I used to call one Mr. Tim Duncan from the San Antonio Spurs, because Timmy Tim was like that silent beast on the court. You know, he just did his thing, won his championship. He came from the Virgin Islands, went to San Antonio, stayed his whole career, went back home, and we don't hear nothing from Tim no more. Tim just, he came, he saw, he conquered, and he chilling. And I'm like, now that's the way to really be a millionaire. Like, you know.
However, this Timmy Tim is not that.
This Timmy Tim right here. Talk about traumatizing. Woo, child. Triggering.
Let me just say this.
Serve it up.
I did not listen to Timmy Tim's full speech following the Republican response.
You didn't need to.
I knew I didn't. That's why I did not. Because I'm already challenged with Timmy Tim even being in this role. And listen.
I mean, the people of South Carolina keep electing. They have elected him, and they've
not like that. What I'm trying to say is, I can't tell somebody not to be a Republican. I can't tell somebody not to be a Democrat. I can't tell you where your political party, which your political party should be. But I can question, like, we can't keep calling it the party of Lincoln. Like, it is not the party of Lincoln. It is the party of Donald Trump. It is the party of Matt Gaetz. It is the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene. It is the party of
Jim Jordan.
It is the party of John Kennedy from Louisiana. It is the party of Steve Scalise, who got shot and still doesn't want to have any gun control. So my challenge with Timmy Tim is, look, I get it. You got to play your role. I don't know what they're promising you. I don't know what they're setting you up for. But doesn't it get exhausting, I guess? And maybe not if you have money and you.
Well, again, so as we said, as you talked about waking up every day and reliving it. So the main thing in the controversial part of the comments, and if some of you have seen it, y'all let us know. Chime on in. There lots of commentary has gone on about it, but you know, the one line in it where people really got under their skin was that America is not a racist country. Now, he also went on to say how, I mean, because he's already told us how a few years, you know, he got stopped by the Capitol Police when he didn't have on his pen. And he's been stopped by the police and all of these interactions.
I thought he also had this story about going from like sharecropping to the Capitol Hill in like one generation or something like that.
So he got all of these stories, you know, anyway. And then he says America's not a racist country. So we're going to tie it in though, because the truth is he's not the only one who made this statement, because also Kamala Momala made the statement too on Good Morning America. Now, I did see her interview on Good Morning America when she said that America's not a racist country. So if Timmy Tim gonna take these L's and take this heat and he gonna be Uncle Tim, she gonna be Auntie Kamala or Kamala Momala or whatever you want to say, because she got to take her L's too. And I get it. I get what they were trying to say. Mm-hmm. Right. I get that what the theme is that, yes, we have these issues, and he was saying how we can't replace one form of discrimination with other discrimination. But the fact that you recognize these experiences that you had, then what are they if they are not racist or not rooted in racism? Mm-hmm. Now, is America a racist country? Well, America is a landmass. America does not vote in elections. America is it was something that was formed in 1776 after the people who were here had already killed the people who were here, right? And then they decided to say, no, we're going to make this our own country,
Right.
you know, because we've already killed those people who were here and sent them all over the country, all over the land, and pushed them off of their land. And then we killed them. And now we want to set up our own rules and government. And
then we're going to start bringing in people from other countries.
And then we brought in people from other countries. Even before that, 1776, we brought in people from other countries because, you know, we were trying to.
Well, we tried to enslave the people that were here.
Yeah.
And that didn't work.
No.
Because they actually had been here longer. So they kind of knew the lay of the land.
They knew the lay of the land and geography. And they was.
So then it was like, hey, France, hey, Britain, hey, Spain. You know what? We're going to need some folks who don't know their way around. Some folks who ain't never been here before. So,
but even before then, it was like, okay, we're going to clear out the jail because we've taken over Scotland and Ireland. Mm-hmm. And we put because we forced those people off of their homeland, the ones who even look like us, because it's all about conquering. And then those who've been in jail, well, we need y'all to go help start this country up. So we're going to send all y'all over here. So you see what I said about that generational thing with them people we talked about earlier with this level of privilege? Because it wasn't all the upper crust. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just drop that nugget and leave it that right. So I think it's a very valid question. If we're not a racist country, then Tim Scott, why are you trying to pass some policing? No, he's working on some police reform legislation.
Yes, he is working on police reform, but that ain't nothing to slide in, but a bunch of stuff. Him, Kamala Momala, and Corey have been working on the anti-lynching bill, which Rand Paul just ran out. But so I think the point we were making is that, listen, if you want to refer to America as an inanimate object, then no, it is not racist. But if you're talking about the people who created the documents by which this country has based its laws, if you want to talk about the systems that they put into place, it was indeed based on racism, sexism, classism. And so, I mean, I guess they could have said, well, no, America's not racist. It's racist, sexist, and classist. Stop it. Don't stop racist. I don't know.
Let's get all the isms that we are.
Exactly. It's homophobic. But at the end of the day,
and we're only those things in public, because, honey, what they do in private is on, what was the name of that site? Seeking Arrangements.
Right. So yeah, I think but the fact is they're politicians, so they're playing politics. And the unfortunate piece about this, and not to tie in the fact that I'm working on a documentary, but the unfortunate piece about it is that we keep wanting to deny things that can be historically proven, as opposed to just saying this is what it is. And now, again, going back to where we started, how do we get better? How do we move forward? Like, it's okay to say, I don't have a problem with where America started. I have a problem that we are living in this
psychosis. We keep waking up to the same damn thing.
Correct.
That part.
Yes.
That part. And that's the part. And so Nashana says here, we don't want to replace discrimination with discrimination. We want to demolish the system and structures that empower and perpetuate the racism in this country. And as we said, the racism, the sexism, the classism, the homophobia, the treatment of those who are differently abled. Mm-hmm.
I would even venture to say colorism, and I know a lot of people don't want to talk about that.
The colorism, because for some of us, we don't even understand how our colorism is rooted in racism. Child, now that gets me to this other thing that we watch. You watch Queen Sugar. Y'all watch Queen Sugar out there. Lena, you gonna have to close your ears because you ain't watched the rest of the season. Did you watch the end?
Oh, when she found out about Calvin. Right?
Yeah, we know that. Okay, yeah.
No, it's not another episode. I didn't miss it.
No.
Okay.
So this is what I want to say about Queen Sugar. Because see, I was like, oh, y'all don't even see y'all own hidden racism and what y'all doing right now. Because how is it all the light-skinned folks end up with somebody, but the sister who is of a darker hue didn't? I'm gonna need you to explain that, Ava DuVernay.
Well, she did end up with someone. She just didn't know that she just finding out about his checkered past, and now he has turned himself in. So
he turned himself in, so he gone. But
he gonna get out.
I'm just saying, how is it that she had that?
Because they said I got somebody.
I'm gonna just leave that right there.
But it is interesting because even Darla has somebody. We know Darla had a checkered past.
Colorism is rooted in hatred, just like racist. Yes, most definitely.
But I love Queen Sugar. And let me just say this. I am not going to say anything about Ava DuVernay while I am trying to make a documentary.
Listen, I say the entire season this year was phenomenal. The way they put it together, the way they stayed on top of the episodes, they did a phenomenal job. However, it was just an observation on my part. Get your friend, Ashana. Get your friend.
No, I'm laughing at her.
I know you're laughing at her, but I'm saying, why is it got to be like that? Why did it have to be like that?
He's gonna get out because he's a white guy.
But why did he have to go in the first place? It was awesome, Jordy. We know, and we know you love Calvin. I love Calvin too. And then my husband, oh, y'all like Calvin. You thought he was one of the good ones. He's a fictional character. So we can let that land right there. He is a fictional character. However, it was an observation that I made before the season ended. I was like, watch, this is where this is gonna go. And I kind of have an issue with that.
Sister, if you think about it, you could argue that point about Aunt Vi not wanting Blue to go to a better school, as if.
Well, we can talk about that too, because that is something that we.
But the light-skinned grandma wanted him to have the better life, but the dark-skinned grandma wanted. She's not his grandmother, but one could theoretically argue a lot of these points,
and we would be correct.
Okay, all right.
Because I think that's the bottom line. You have to acknowledge things, and you have to talk about them objectively, and you have to understand your position and where you're coming from. So Aunt Vi did need to understand her limitations in that respect. It's like, why am I trying to limit this child?
Right. Well, Aunt Vi clearly is dealing with some other things.
We know that, child. And we acting like she a real person too. But we have met people like that in our life. I know y'all have. Yes. I know you love Calvin, girl. It's a good looking man. I ain't gonna say him. Just leave that right there. But anyway, so if we were gonna talk, the bottom line is, if we're gonna give Timmy Tim heat, we got to give Kamala Momala heat. We have to give them all heat. And we need to give all of these politicians, people who we elect to uphold our interests, we do have to give them heat. We can give them scrutiny, we can give them support, but they do require scrutiny, and they do require accountability.
We do need to give them heat. However, I did see, Amanda Seale's Instagram post and the comedian Godfrey's Instagram post, and I do think that we also have to understand that, again, politicians have to politic. Because as much as we love Barack and we love Shelley Shell, Barack had to politic too. And that's the other part of it. Like I said, with Tim Scott, my issue is that I don't know what the benefit is for him ultimately. I see the benefit for the Republican Party. You're the black guy who makes us look good. You're the black guy who says we're credible.
He's the one who they can say we're not racist because we have
a
Tim
black
Scott.
friend. Yes. and Candace Owen, who I still don't know why she even became relevant. But right. So I see the benefit on their side. I don't see the benefit to you though, because when it's all said and done, you gotta be able to live with yourself. I don't know, but
and perhaps he is able.
And maybe he's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, the heat does go both ways. So, but you know.
Well, yeah, I don't know who her communications director is, but perhaps we can find out who that person is, and maybe we should write to them.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess she should have been ready for the question too. But in a sense, Tim Scott wrote a speech, and I'm sure many people edited it.
And he had speech writers,
and
I'm sure.
He wrote it and made the decision to say that, because I don't believe that he had to. I don't even know that he had to bring that up, right? He could have had a rebuttal and not even say anything about America not being.
But he did bring it. He brought it up because that was a part of what Joe Biden's speech was about how we need to about equity and about justice and all of that stuff, and how we need these reforms, and that was part of what his speech was about, and so that was part of his response to that.
Okay, I mean, I guess because I'm like.
But shout out to Joe Biden, because Joe Biden, if y'all didn't watch the Saturday Night Live skit, y'all missed that reference. But Joe Biden, you know, when he said, you know, Madam Vice President and Madam Speaker, it was like a beautiful, beautiful thing to witness and to see that Joe Biden is making so much history. So,
yeah, I agree. There could have been better choices of words. And I think where Kamala Momala slipped was she should have expected the next day that, of course, she was going to get the question. So, yes, she should have had a better prepared response. And I think part of that response could have been to the point of Joe Biden is out here, recognizes that even with the things that we have done in our past, that we've done historically, we still have the opportunity to be better. And it could have just been.
And I think that's what the gist of what she was saying. Hey, Sonny.
All right. Well, any other hot topics y'all want us to talk
about? What else y'all
want
to talk about? What else y'all watching, or what y'all talking about? What y'all listening to? What's going on out there?
By the way, I did not go to the funeral yesterday. If you all were aware, Shock G was laid to rest yesterday. I did not go to the funeral. I heard it was only 3 hours as compared to Brother DMX, who had 5 hours out of us. But nothing is going to surpass
Aretha, because Aretha was 24.
And she had wardrobe changes. So, but you know, I mean.
And R.I.P. to Olympia Dukakis, the actress from Still Magnolias and Moonstruck, and from that fame, and wonderful actress, and Still Magnolias is still one of my favorite movies of all time. All of those movies.
Yes. What was that, Shirley MacLaine?
All of the Shirley, when she said, "Here, hit Weezer." That was Olympia Dukakis. So, but yes, I love. Rest in peace. I think she was 89. So she lived a beautiful, full life. And also, and I don't know if we ever mentioned Walter Mondale passed away as well.
We did not.
Yes, and Walter Mondale was the vice president under Jimmy Carter, but he also was the first to nominate or to select a woman as his running mate.
Yes.
In one Geraldine Ferraro. So we're losing those icons and trailblazers. So yeah.
But that's just me just making room for new icons and trailblazers.
Absolutely. Looking forward to who out here is going to start blazing some trails.
Well, y'all already are. Y'all doing great things. Y'all are doing great things. Okay, well, I wanted us to talk about this because you just completed your 5th annual Spring Into Leadership Women's Conference.
Yeah.
If any of you ladies attended, please jump in. Let's talk about it. How did you enjoy it? What are some of the nuggets you got out of it? I wanted to circle back because you were telling me Dr. Alana, all of the great things that she was saying, which to me ties so much into where we are as a country.
Honey, when she broke down the brain, Larissa, I know you got a comment because you were like, when she broke that brain down, Larissa was like, I just got something to say. She was like, we just dealt with this for 4 years. Somebody is living with their primitive brain. Because Dr. Alana had us do this. She said, this right here, tap this part right here. That's your prefrontal cortex. That's the only developed part of your brain. All the other parts of your brain are primitive. We have 7 parts of our brain. 6 of them are primitive. Woo, child, she broke it all the way down. Thank you, Shireen. Glad you enjoyed the experience. Yes, you missed some good stuff. I will say that. But that Larissa came on and she wanted to make that comment that, like, you know, not really developing your skills, because your prefrontal cortex, that's where the executive function is. That's where you can make decisions. That's where you can override those messages of your past, messages of your childhood, things that you've seen and observed. That's where you can have objective thought and thinking.
Cortex exercise.
Yeah. Well, that's what we got. Prefrontal cortex exercises. She gave us some. But it was so very.
This ain't one of them.
No, this ain't one of them. But this is to remind you. Just remind you. Oh no, right here. Because when you about to go off on somebody, you just have to do like this. Like, okay, I'm not.
Y'all gonna see me walking around like this all day.
Oh yeah. So it was very powerful. But I am very pleased with the conference. Obviously, y'all know I was dead dog tired yesterday afternoon. I took a nap. And then I flew out and came out here to see my sister, and so that we can spend some time together, so I can celebrate my birthday.
Someone has a birthday.
Yeah, celebrate my birthday and just rejuvenate a little bit. I announced
I really have to figure out how old you are, because I have to use my age to remember how old you are, because I don't know. I just stopped counting one time. I just
you can stop.
And I kept getting older, but for whatever reason, your number wasn't changing. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
it's changed.
Because I know mine is changed.
Yeah, so
like 4 plus 4. Oh, okay, that's how.
4 plus 4. That's how you get it. Yeah, but we had a phenomenal 3 days. We learned a lot. We laughed a lot. We played around a lot. I changed the music every day in the world. So I had another bounce mix for us on Saturday. I don't know if you got over there to listen to it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. The Topia World is still open. If anybody wants to go and check it out, and you can check out our vendors, we'll drop it in the comments and just walk around and see what the experience was like. Yes, my birthday is coming up on Wednesday, Cinco de Mayo. You don't never have to forget me. So it was phenomenal. I can't complain. I know. Well, what about you? First of all, you did a phenomenal job moderating the politics panel. Like, the politics panel was one of my favorites. I mean, it was so. I mean, you asked the right questions. You engaged. You picked up on the different things that they were saying and tied it all together. You did a good job.
Thanks, sister. I'm trying to learn from you on this Hey Sister platform. This is a lot. I did this, so this is another thing. So I had an interview on Friday, for those who may have missed it, with Carla Farrell from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. My team and I, my production team and I, we were doing this Thibodeauville documentary. And
we're going to drop that link in the comments as well.
Yes,
because the Thibodeauville film needs your support so it can get made. The trailer is done. The interviews are being done. The things are being done, but we want to get it fully made, produced, and out into the world, because we want to be in Oscar contention.
Yes. And if I got to pay for it, it may be several more years before we. Unless Jesus.
Ain't claiming that.
That's right. That's right. So Jesus is going to make wonderful things happen.
And it was look, Denise. So I said thank you, Denise.
All the people who already bought shirts and supported. I appreciate y'all so very much. But I was just saying, so I had a different appreciation for all of this moving around the other day, because I was nervous. I was so nervous to have the conversation, and I feel like I was talking in like I don't even remember what the first question was, but I had rehearsed so much about what I wanted to say that was going to be the answer anyway. Like, she going to be like, what color is the sky? I was like, yes. So the Thibodeau Massacre, before we jump right in. So anyway, but I was doing all these buttons. I was like, wow, I have a new appreciation for all the stuff that Demetria does here on Hey Sister. So, and thank you, Nashana. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah, thank you, Rosie. All right. So see, the folks tuned in, and we want y'all to share that as well. Go ahead and type in the website and then type in the GoFundMe as well.
Well, you go to the website
and you can get to everything.
Yes.
Okay, you go to the website, you can get to the GoFundMe, you can purchase a Thibodeauville t-shirt, you can tell people about it, you can share it. If you have anybody that works in production who wants to bless this documentary film, whether it was with financial resources or some in-kind services, honey, we will take them. If we got a great editor out there, if you know somebody who's a fantastic editor, because one thing I do know for sure is editing is everything. You hear me?
It is.
When it comes to books, movies, you can have a good script, and if it gets edited wrong, that movie will be terrible. Okay?
Let me say this. I don't know how many of you have watched Time. It's on Amazon. It was also nominated for an Oscar. I think long form documentary. Anyway, it's about a woman from Louisiana.
Yes.
And at the end, like, yeah, I had to be like, who's the editor on this? Because his last name was Rhodes, and that's one of the families, in Thibodeau. He's a white guy. But that doesn't mean that he couldn't be related.
Maybe because
he could be related. And so I was like, I need this Gabriel Rhodes guy. So if y'all know Gabriel Rhodes out there, I mean, I don't know.
Shoot your shot, sister.
Right, GabrielRhodes.com. That's his website. I have already looked him up. But that movie was so well done from a cinematography and editing standpoint. I was like,
wow. Honey, but we're going to claim all of this in the name of Jesus, Shireen. That's right. Abundance is your birthright, sister.
You're on a head-on collision with success.
Success and abundance. That's right.
Wow, it's done. Money is coming from the north, south, east, and west. Come on, Shireen.
All over. Let's get the money.
Yes.
Where the money resides, where the money resides. We're going to make this film, and we're going to tell the story. Really, the Thibodeauville film, for those of you who may have not seen the interview, and the book about the Thibodeau Massacre. You know, there are many massacres.
There's one called the Elaine Massacre that's on Amazon right now. It's like almost the exact same story, except it was in Arkansas. I was like,
yeah,
we were massacring folks left and right.
So but the Thibodeau Massacre is about the sugarcane workers, and specifically the Black sugarcane workers who are a generation off of slavery, and so they had to be paid wages now. And basically, it's what they call it's not even indentured servitude.
It was like sharecropping.
It's like human trafficking now. You know, basically, oh yeah, you come work for me, but I control everything. And then if you have the audacity to want to be treated like a human being, I don't like that. So that's what that's all about. And so yeah, we got to make that happen.
Amen. We are going to make it happen.
We are making it happen.
We are making it happen now. But I appreciate everybody's support. And let me say this, and I'm going to say this publicly because this is very important to me. Growing up in Thibodeau, Louisiana, I know that there are a lot of people who don't want to have this conversation and who don't want to talk about it. I would like to I am very grateful for those white men and women from my hometown who have been like, do it, because I have to say, I was a little concerned. I was a little concerned about what the reaction would be. And I mean, I don't live there anymore, but there are people that I know and love that do. So I was concerned, but I'm thankful for everybody. So let me not, I don't want the America is not racist situation here. I'm thankful and grateful for every single person, but sometimes, as my friend says, you don't need allies, you need accomplices. You know, you need somebody who's going to get in there with you. And I am very appreciative of the folks who are getting in there with me, regardless of race, color, creed, all of that. Thank you.
Yep. Love it. And I'm just dropping this in right now. So if you want to go and visit our Spring into Leadership World on Topia, it is a new platform that we discovered and we use for the conference. You have to be on a computer or a PC to check, PC or Mac, but our desktop or laptop. That's what I was trying to say. To access it, it's actually a pretty cool platform.
It is. It's very different, especially if you are like most of us and you've been on Zoom for a long time now, and it's kind of annoying. In many ways, it's always good to have at least some other platform. Yeah. So, all right, we have about 5 minutes left. Anything else you ladies and want to talk about? Or Cam is like our buddy. Like he is
always down to support. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate all of you for tuning in, for watching Hey Sister, for being consistent with us. We thank you so much for spending this hour with us on Sundays. This is for us a passion project. So
all of it, Spring into Leadership, Thibodeauville, Hey Sister, all passion projects, because I don't know about you, sister, but I do believe that God has made me for greatness. And in that greatness, I feel like he wants to deliver me from a day job. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be my own boss. And I feel like that's what he wants for my life as well.
Well, you will be delivered.
Thank you.
So what are the upcoming topics this month? Oh, we got all kinds of topics planned. We're always looking for great folks to bring onto the Hey Sister platform. So if you want to come on, Miss Rosalind Ross, and talk about some of the things you're doing, or even growing up in Mississippi with our families intertwined the way they are, that would be a wonderful conversation. So we're always looking for great stories to tell. We have some really good folks that are coming up. We're going to spend some more time on the topic of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it continues to be a topic, and people keep messing it up. Like they just keep missing it. Like how y'all
part of the reason I need Jesus to deliver me.
No, that's why you need to do like this, right here, like this, right here, right here. Because it's like, y'all just want to complicate it and mess things up instead of just saying, you know what? Let me listen and learn.
Yes.
Let me be a human being and say, you know what? I'm going to make some mistakes. And when you catch me making a mistake, correct me so that I can do better.
Right. Yes. I will say, Rosalind, one of the people that I have coming up is one of my former coworkers, and I say former because tomorrow is her official last day on our job. She is venturing out on her own, and while she was out on maternity leave, started her own company, and now feels like it's time for her to step out on faith and do that full time. So I'm really excited to have that conversation, because she is just so brilliant and so young and brilliant, and I love that she is doing this right now at this time. So that's one of the folks that's coming up.
So you all stay tuned for more episodes of Hey Sister, and we are going to sign off for this evening. So good night.
Love y'all.
Bye everybody.